Hi again, Australia. Clay from Australian Survivalism here. I'm going to talk to you today about waking up Australians from a slumber so deep that they have no idea about what's happening in our great country. Now, some viewers think that I should tone things down. Well, I can tell you now, I'm not going to change the way I do things to please other people. I've never been a people pleaser. If you like what I do here, then I appreciate your subscription, I appreciate you watching, sharing, commenting. But I'm not one to do what others tell me to do, nor am I one to blindly follow. I'm always passionate about all my reasoning for creating videos, especially when I become aware of situations where politics, or more so politicians, aren't doing the right thing by the Australian people. Now that pisses me right off, and rightly so. It should piss you off too. Maybe if more Australians were aware of political incompetence and corruption, talking about it and doing something about it, we may have a much better system in place than the one we endure today. We're taught that politics is something we shouldn't talk about. Why? Have you noticed that this country is vastly different to the country that we grew up in? Slowly but surely, piece by tiny little piece, these elitists in their upper echelons have chipped away at our freedoms, our economy, our environment, our privacy, until we're left with the restrictive society that we live in now. Militarized police, Big Brother, always watching. Massive metadata vacuums, sucking up all of our personal information. Now, have you ever asked, why do we need to endure the cycle of the two-party system? I mean, really? Who knows where your vote actually goes when you vote in this rotten, diseased system? Preferences here, preferences there. You never even know who you vote for if they actually get your vote. We need a complete overhaul of the political system in this country. We also need the emergence of a new grassroots political party run by grassroots Australians with Australia's best interests at heart. When the Eastern States National Electricity Market was formed in the late 1990s, Australia had the lowest retail prices in the world, along with the United States and Canada. What happened to those prices? Why do we now pay the highest prices in the world? That's hardly a positive development. Australians also endure one of the highest priced, overinflated, gluttonous property markets on the planet. When I was a kid, my parents bought a block of land, built a house, raised 4 kids, and did it all on one wage. My dad worked a normal paying job. We were far from wealthy, just a normal Australian family. These days, 2 hard-working parents can barely make ends meet, let alone save for a house deposit. What happened there? Oh, yeah, no, that's right. The middle and lower classes pay the most tax in this country, while the top end of town, they pay nothing. Water. In New South Wales, farmers are now paying 8 times more for water to irrigate their crops than they did in 2004. 8 times more. Now, who's pocketing that money? I'll tell you who. Bankers, politicians, corporations. That's who. Guaranteed it's not the Australian people, but it's our resource. Water was once primarily seen as a resource for agricultural production. But today, water traders make obscene profits as they destroy agriculture at the discretion of the financial oligarchy. This is seen in the form of bank executives running Duxton Water, whose shareholders enjoyed a total return of nearly 30% in the year to June, as Duxton Water has amassed Australian water rights worth $250 million. Due to this, we risk a mass exodus from the land and greater hardship for drought-stricken communities, towns, small businesses. It is a contravention of our Australian Constitution to charge for our natural water from our rivers and dams. And it's also a contravention of our Constitution to prevent the Australian people from using it for farming. These sewer rats in power simply suspend parts of our Constitution to enable politicians to rip off the Australian people, line their pockets with money made by selling off our assets. That's the truth. That alone is a crime that should be firstly addressed publicly, then legally, bringing these criminals to justice. Let's start there. Putting it nicely, we need to expel these disgusting creatures from our country's infested colon. But to do so, we'll take aware citizens of good character to administer the remedy, which comes first in the form of organising, agitating, assembling, marching and yelling, "We've had enough!" in every street, in every park. Show these crooked powers that be that we are the power in this country. They work for us. And that's a privilege to represent the people of this great nation. Let these crooked despots know that they are on notice. Wake up, Australia. Wake up.